I'm back with another Ask Skill Builder episode. Now, this is where you send in your questions. Doesn't matter whether it's a DIY problem or whether you're having building done or whether you've just noticed a crack appearing in your wall or you've got rising damp, you name it, we'll try and help you. So long as it's to do with buildings, properties, that kind of thing. And if you're having work done, you want a second opinion, you know, you've got a quote from somebody, you want to check it out, see whether it looks reasonable, then by all means send it to us. Send us your video clips, anything you can that will help us piece together the jigsaw puzzle and help you out. So here we are. This is from Harriet. We've got a question that's coming from Harriet. She's made a lovely little video clip for, and she's got a problem. She's got a problem with a wet room, a shower.
Hi Skill Builder. This is our shower, which was built by the person who lived in the house before us. And obviously we didn't really know what's going on behind this wall, but this we now realise is, you know, it's looking a bit wobbly, and this here rattles a bit. And we have a problem which I discovered when I looked in the other bedroom behind the cupboard, and I'll show you.
Nice jumper.
So this is my kids' bedroom.
I'd call that a jumper for somebody who can't make their mind up about colours.
In the wardrobe here, I used to keep their toys in a big IKEA storage unit, and I decided to move that downstairs. And when I moved it, I discovered all this. All the plasterboard was all rotten.
Oh dear.
We were quite shocked to find that there was a leak from the shower going on, and I think it had been going on quite a while, but actually the first indicator was a damp patch on the carpet. We called out a plumber, and he came along and capped it off here so that it stopped leaking, and at least we had a chance for everything to dry out. There's a lot of leaking, and it went down onto the carpet, and we had to cut the carpet away. And we've sprayed anti-mould all over here, but it was really smelly. The children had to move into a different room for a week or two. We are waiting until we've saved a bit more money before we redo the whole bathroom anyway, because there's a lot of leaking under the tiles. So when we moved in, we thought it all looked perfect because it was all nicely tiled, it all looked fresh. And there was a lot going on that we had no idea about behind that wall over there, underneath these tiles. That's a hidden expense there. So if we're going to spend a lot of money getting the whole thing redone, and we'll probably get a shower similar to that because we like the way the pipes are all hidden, it's easier to keep cleaner. But how can we avoid the same thing happening again a few years down the line? That's what we don't want that to happen again. We haven't got that sort of money to keep forking out.
Well, what can I tell you, Harriet? This is yet another example of a wet room that's gone wrong for various reasons. You know, it looks to me like whoever's done this has made it up as they've gone along, and maybe with the best of intentions. Maybe they thought, oh, we make a nice wet room, it won't cost you a fortune, I can make it up out of a bit of plywood and a bit of gunk that they put over it, but evidently it hasn't worked. I mean, if you look at that tile in the floor there, it's just a tile that's been drilled. I've never ever seen that before, but it means you can't get at the trap. There's nothing you can do. If that trap clogs up underneath that tile, there's no way of getting at it short of taking the tile out. So it's not a great system, and you've already said that you've had some trouble with the floor and that it's rotted and that you've had leaks and so on. So it just goes to prove that it was never done properly. It's not a viable system at all. And when we look at the back here, we've got leaks coming from the shower. And, you know, whoever mounts a shower arm, the shower head and the arm on the wall like that so that it wobbles about, they clearly don't have a clue what they're doing, because some of these things are really heavy. When you get the big square ones, you know, some of these ones I've fitted have been enormous things, you know, and they weigh, say, 10 kilos or something like that. So they've really got to be fixed properly. And what I use is this shower mounting plate from Abacus, which makes sure that you get a really secure fixing. But whatever you do, you have to make sure that that thing's not wobbling around. And again, the shower valve, that's an aqua laser shower valve, should be all right. It's got perfectly good mounting places, but he shoved it on a bit of chipboard, and the chipboard doesn't even fit between the studs. So It's not hiding to nothing. Nothing in that shower should wobble about like that. All the seals should be that the water can't get through, but whatever's happening, we can see from the back there that it's really been leaking a lot, and she didn't know anything about it until she took that cupboard out. So, you know, so I'm sorry for you, Harriet. I think it's a bad do. I mean, you bought the house, you expected it, you looked at it, you know, the survey didn't bring anything up about it, and you looked at it and thought, oh, well, that's a nice shower room, that's going to be okay, and you're faced with this bill, which sometimes, you know, if you're stretching yourself for a mortgage, then you don't have any loose change to go spending 5,000, 10,000 quid out on having a new shower room fitted, or a new bathroom in this case. But, you know, so it's a sad situation, but unfortunately it's something that's happening over and over again. I mean, we just keep coming across this. I've said before, I think it's a national epidemic, but it really is sad to see all these cases where people have just not done the job properly. So, like you say, you want to have it all done again when you can afford it, and it's very, very important that you have it done properly, that you get somebody who's going to use a proper system. Now, if they talk about using plasterboard and putting a membrane over the top of it and all the rest of it, that's all right, you can do that, but why? Why bother? Because if you spend a little bit more money, and it's not a huge amount more, but if you spend a little bit more money, you can get a proper waterproof tile backing board of some kind. Now, it could be a cement board, some people favour that. I actually favour the Elements board because it gives you insulation as well as a good surface to tile onto, and you can waterproof that whole board. It will be absolutely watertight before you even start tiling. Don't rely on the tiles, don't rely on the grout to make the waterproof membrane. Do something underneath. In fact, it's now in the British standard that you have to tank a wet room. So that means you have to put a waterproofing system of some sort. And I emphasise that word system, not make it up as you go along, but a proper system in place to make sure the water doesn't come through. So the other thing that they've outlawed in the new British standard is plywood. You're not supposed to use plywood as a tile backing board anymore. Now, I've had countless arguments over the years with tilers, with builders, with plumbers. Go, oh, marine ply, you can use marine ply, it's great. No, you can't, because it sets up a mould. As you can see from these pictures that Harriet's taken for us, you can see all the mould that's built up on the back there. Now, that mould will just go through and attack the tile adhesive, and it will push those tiles off the wall. So she found it. You know, it's done a fair amount of damage there, but she found it. The plumbers, you know, capped it off, and you could just go and fix the leak there and probably get a few more months or years out of it, because she's had that problem with the floor underneath. I don't know what's been done there or how that's been fixed, but I would suggest that it's a risk to carry on using it. If they've got another shower room, then it's probably worth using that and just leaving this one until they can afford to have it done. But very, very important that they don't make the same mistake, because I have seen it loads and loads of times where people get these kind of problems. They get a leak, plumber or builder comes in and says, oh yeah, I can fix that, don't worry about it. And he does exactly the same thing. Puts back plasterboard, puts back plywood or whatever it is, and puts a bit of silicone around there and expects it to solve the problem. And they do say that if you want a different result, change your behaviour. You know, you have to change things. You have to make sure that what you do next time is a better job. So send us the spec, try and get somebody out who knows what they're doing. We can probably put you in touch with a few people. We'll try to, and let's see what they propose to do for you before you have it done, because there's no point just wasting your money again. You need to make sure you get it done right. You need to make sure that when you spend money, you're spending it wisely, and hopefully we can help you in that. So thanks very much, Harriet. I'm really sorry I can't be more positive about it for you and say something good, but I know if you get a good system in place and you have that wet room, you said you liked it, you said you liked the whole layout there, so if you get that done properly, it's such a tragedy. It really is such a tragedy, because the tiling would be all right if the tile backer. It's a bit like building your house on a shifting sand, you know. If you don't put in the right foundations, if you don't put in the right board behind that tiling, then whatever you do after that is just a waste of time. But unfortunately, as I said, I see it over and over and over again. Anyway, thanks for sending it in, Harriet, and if you've got a problem, you want to send it into Skill Builder, send in your video clips to us. The details are back on the screen now, you can see that, and we'll try and help you. Whatever it is, whether you want a second opinion or you've just noticed something horrendous occurring in your house, let us know and we'll try and help you. I'm Roger Bisbee, thanks very much for watching. Come back soon, don't forget to subscribe. We love subscribers.